What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are going to talk about a post on Reddit titled, I used to work at Lucasfilm. And yes, new room, who dis? Yes, new room, new layout. It's getting there, a little echoey still. I'm working on that. Room is almost finished. Did a live stream last night. Really excited. A lot of new opportunities are going to present themselves because of the new room, so I look forward to it. But enough of that. Let's get into this because there's quite a bit here that I'm going to read. Obviously, I'm going to preface this by saying we're not confirming this. Nobody is saying this is true. This is simply something that was posted on Reddit. It was posted on July the 3rd. Here it is, July 5th or 6th now because it's 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm recording this. And so we're going to read over it. Before we get into that, I want to say that the pinned post on Reddit says, these kinds of posts tend to have little to no credibility behind them, but OP has offered a small amount of verification about these claims that warrant sharing them publicly. Unfortunately, due to confidentiality concerns, we cannot share the verification publicly, but I can tell you that I'm now 50-50 on these claims as opposed to being convinced that it was a hoax. Take all this with a grain of salt, but maybe don't write it off completely. So that is from, I guess, one of the moderators on the Reddit thread. Again, I'm not the most versed person on Reddit, but now again, I'm going to read this. There's a lot to read, so just go ahead and sit back, relax, and enjoy me reading from this subreddit titled, I used to work at Lucasfilm, and then we'll talk about it. So it might be a long video, let's jump right into it. I used to work for Lucasfilm, and a number of us were let go at once in the last year. I'm being intentionally ambiguous for obvious reasons, as I don't want to reveal too much about who I am and what I did there. What I can say is that I occasionally had to deal with Kathleen Kennedy. First of all, I am going to try and not bash her. I wouldn't want to work for her again, but I'm not going to go on a hate fest. She's fine, and I'm sure on a personal level quite nice. I just never got to know her that way, so I was on the reserved / cold end of the stick. I still have a few friends working there, so here's some of my own experiences. Depending on who's talking to her, she's very agreeable. Imagine a boardroom full of people talking, having different opinions about things, and Kathleen Kennedy saying, well, I think we should do X. And someone would say, nah, Y is the way to go. And it's as if that someone pulled a Jedi mind trick, because the next thing out of her mouth is, Y is the way to go. If you're someone she doesn't care for, she'll do everything to disagree. The sky is blue. Kathleen Kennedy, no, the sky is brown. JJ, believe it or not, was the blue sky guy among many others. Bob Iger believes in him. He was asked to bring Star Wars back on the map, make it nostalgic yet new, and in that he more than succeeded. He brought in $2 billion. TFA was critically acclaimed, and while some fans aren't fans of the rehash stuff, most generally acknowledge that it's a competently made film that felt like Star Wars, and the character development resulted in genuine interest for what's to come after TFA. Kathleen, for some reason, doesn't mesh well with JJ. I don't know why, and I wish I had the missing puzzle pieces here, because from what I know, she was in many ways his mentor once upon a time. When he was 15, he applied to this temp gig to clean up some Super 8 tapes, and that job just happened to be with Spielberg. Kathleen Kennedy was his assistant or assistant producer at the time, can't remember. Spielberg is obviously fond of JJ. He helped him produce his own film, Super 8, and has shown nothing but support for JJ. I'm not sure what the relationship between Kathleen Kennedy and Steven Spielberg is like these days, but the fact that there's a rift between JJ and her makes me scratch my head a bit. Iger is not the biggest fan of Ryan. That's putting it mildly. He didn't like The Last Jedi and wanted a lot of things changed. The impression some of us got, and this is not to say we're right, is that Iger, quite on purpose, wanted to give Kathleen Kennedy, and Ryan by extension, what she wants so she can see her with her own eyes that her vision is flawed. That seems like a waste of time, money, and reputation to me, but some people I know who still work there are convinced this was a setup for Iger to get her canned by episode 9, or shortly after 9, and make it look like a resignation. Either way, he's not happy with her. Kathleen Kennedy was strongly against JJ taking over episode 9. That's when the mess started. About a year ago, Iger could tell she wasn't satisfied with Colin, but it's as if she tried to make it work with him only because she knew Iger would immediately jump on the hire JJ train. Contrary to what Ryan says, and he's a bit of an egotistical prick if you ask me, and deserves way more hate than Kathleen Kennedy does, Ryan did want the episode 9 job. He almost got it because Kathleen Kennedy was vouching for him. This is when Iger stepped in and asked JJ, who refused at first. I'm not sure what went on in those meetings, but JJ knew how messy the situation was because he was an executive producer still and didn't want to be part of it. If there's anyone who hates conflict and drama, it's JJ. The rumors that JJ was offered the Lucasfilm president gig are apparently true according to my friends who still work there. He declined and is sticking by that. He likes running his smaller studio Bad Robot and wants to move on after episode 9. A bit about JJ, whom I've never got to work with directly, but with whom I spoke more than Kathleen Kennedy by a country mile. He's probably my favorite person involved based on his personality alone. He's still so passionate about Star Wars as a franchise and a genuine fanboy who wants nothing more than these films to... Alright, I'm not going to read this one because this is just like, whatever. You like JJ, that's cool. So do I. We don't need to, I'm looking for details here. So, next one. This one is the most baffling to me, and I'm not even sure I can wrap my head around it to even believe it. I'm a guy who's 100% down with diversity. Strong female characters, Ripley, Sarah Connor, Furiosa. I actually liked The Force Awakens Rey. The Last Jedi Rey has Kathleen Kennedy's fingerprints all over it, though. Where JJ tried to light a spark for a strong female lead, Ryan took Kathleen Kennedy's feminist extremism to another level, making Rey unpalatable as a character. Nothing about the character is intriguing, and my fiance herself finds The Last Jedi Rey over the top. To push this extreme feminism agenda, Kathleen Kennedy, knowing she's getting all the blame and hate for it, does everything in her power to make it look like everyone who's hired is on the same page as her. And then the final part here, cue the IndieWire article, intentionally clickbaity to make it seem like JJ is literally on the same page as her. JJ is undoubtedly into making progressive films with strong female leads. Alias, The Girl from 10 Cloverfield Lane, Rey, and tons of diversity. Cloverfield Paradox, Lost Westworld, Undercovers. But he knows how to find the right balance. What that article implied, judging from the headline, which seems to be what people read only, is that he thinks all Star Wars fans are misogynist racist. He was, in fact, only asked about the small minority of fans who are misogynist and racist, and he responded to the question only about those fans, not in general. They spend it to make him sound like Kathleen Kennedy, but he's not. He's not quite that extreme, and he knows that equality, which is what feminism is technically about, isn't supposed to alienate any group of people, white, straight males included. Kathleen Kennedy seems to dead set on doing that, though. Unfortunately, I don't have any info on episode 9, but if you have any questions about things, how things are run, or any of my points above, please feel free to ask me. I won't have much time tonight, but I'll try to respond ASAP. What I cannot answer is what I did at the company, how long I worked there, when I was let go, why I was let go. So, all right, got through that one. The grammar was kind of rough on there and tripped me up, but man, there's a lot there. This person loves J.J. Abrams. I think we've established that. It's almost like J.J. was like, bro, put this out there and get me away from Kathleen Kennedy in terms of public perception. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like J.J. Abrams put someone up to this. That was a very, very pro J.J. Abrams subreddit or Reddit, whatever it's called. And that's the thing that stood out to me. Very pro JJ, like overwhelmingly pro JJ, to the point where it feels like JJ wrote the damn thing. Do I buy it? Maybe. I mean, I like J.J. Abrams. I'm not happy with how he didn't stand up for episode 8 and for it to complement episode 7. But if this story is true, then maybe JJ is not, I mean, maybe JJ tried and maybe he's fed up with the situation. If true, again, considering Bob Iger is on the JJ train and he doesn't like Rian Johnson at all, that's very, very interesting. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. It's interesting. That's about all I can say. It seems like J.J. Abrams had this written, and let's just hypothetically say J.J. was behind this. That kind of tells us that J.J. actually does have the right intentions here. I mean, I've said before, a lot of you blame J.J. for the Force Awakens in terms of like the overall narrative of the Force Awakens, but the fact is Kathleen Kennedy had already thrown George's sequel treatment out. She had already thrown those out, and they already gave parameters for JJ to work within when he walked in the door. But you can blame him for it all you want. That's cool. I mean, he made the damn movie, but the creative choices were made to give it the overall structure they wanted prior to him walking in the door. So interesting. This has went on long enough, so I'm gonna try to end this now. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. This is some juicy details in there, if true. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.